It is based in pretty much the western half of the U.S. I mean, you want to get right down to it. This book covers that. And
almost there.
Thing happened in the main book. The cataclysm happened, the apocalypse, the end of the world, magic come back to the world, everything, and the world was plunged into a new dark age for 200 years. People were scraping and scrapping for all things to help them survive this new and most would say not improved world where magic is real, monsters eat your face, and you could fall into a hole that leads you to another world that may even be worse than this one.
But you can also ride robo horses.
Yes. But in some places, cut off from pretty much everyone. Now, I want you to imagine all your telecommunications going offline. It's very easy to have the idea that your small community, everything within, say, 10, 20 miles of you, is all you know of the world. Radio signals no longer work very well because of ley line storms and geothermal nonsense because the world is literally seizing itself almost to death. So your community has now become insular. And over 200 years, it will grow and change differently than another community, say, 100 miles away. You're no longer connected socially, and you every moment that goes by, you are now diverging from your shared history. What happened in the New West is that over the 200 years, fact and fiction became blurred. Fact being the Old West gunslingers and lawlessness and gold mining and get off my land, you varmint, stuff like that. Yes, but then you have
rootiness, tootiness, fight.
Rootiness, tootiness, yeah, no, but then you have that. You have that. You have John Wayne movies. You have Wagon Trail. You have all these movies and books that people believe are historical documentaries and historical reenactments and actual historical fact type thing, and they start emulating it and believing it. And then you get this book. You get an entire section of the world that believes in the Duke. Like that's what you get. So you get this book.
This threw me off already.
What?
Sci Pony.
Yep. Hey, you know what? This is gonna be a weird ride. All right. This is gonna be
Cactus
a weird ride.
People. Oh, it's the cacti from Final Fantasy. Oh, they're cute.
No, they're not. They have a horror factor because they are ugly.
Oh.
No, but here's the thing. We have all new OCCs. We have some RCCs. You saw the cactus people. Anyway, yeah. So each of these OCCs and RCCs they have an analog to OCCs and RCCs in the main book. They are meant to be replacements, not additions.
Can you say that again, please?
They are meant to be replacements, not additions.
Take that, Bob.
Using this book, you have to use these OCCs to really get the full experience. If you use other OCCs, you are going to ruin the flavor and tone of this campaign. And as you can see, these are the territories that are considered the New West. This is the large area that your player characters can roam around in and still be in this world.
Oh, I'm seeing a little roadhogs here.
Yeah, the whole motorcycle thing is kind of like the modern day horse. And then people like, wait a minute, if horses are so much trouble, why don't we just make mechanical horses? And they did that too, but don't worry about that. We will get to that when we get to that. Let's see what we're going to do. We're not going to go over the individual territories. but we are going to go over the story a little bit. All right. Now this is a glimpse of the New West. This is a you can reread it on your own time if you buy the book. But this is
I
a
love it.
diary of
This
of
is
a
how you
cowboy.
stylize. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry for
it is a
interrupting.
diary of a cowboy, and it's written in cowboy speak. So if you're like Max and you really want everything to be grammatically correct, you're not going to get that.
Well, no. In a situation like this, I actually don't want things to be grammatically correct. I want narration to be.
Are like that.
Narration should be grammatically correct. Technical manuals should be grammatically correct. When talking like this, you should actually sound like a real human being.
There you go. Well, he sounds like a real uneducated human being. The reason being is because he is likely not educated at all. Because just like the Old West, the New West is mainly illiterate, podunk, the cowpoke nonsense.
Chancellor's got a question for you.
Idiots. Wait, cotton picking mitten heathen dog. Y'all pulling my leg. You're just saying that Annie Oakley and Paul Bunyan is now part of this here world. Yes, Annie Oakley and Paul Bunyan are real historical figures in the New West, because history can be rewritten as long as you don't understand what you're reading. All right, so we will move on to page 11, the New West. You're at it right now.
Okay.
And it talks a little bit about the what happened. It touches a little bit about what happened. Sections of the Western territories are occupied or claimed by human and DB kingdoms, tribes, clans, settlers, whatnot, but is largely a vast, disputed wilderness with a variety of terrains, from forest to mountains to prairies to deserts to. Here's the thing: you thought that the Midwest was vast, that there was so much space in between settlements and towns and cities, and when you're outside of the Chicagoland area, it's just vast wilderness with every once in a while a little village here, a little village there that always seems to need your help. Times that by 1,000, because this is twice the area of the core book. In the core book, you had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states. This is half the country. So we are literally talking the size of most of Europe is now encompassed in this world book. So there is easily hundreds of miles between cities and towns. And if you have a town of over 200 people, that is all but a metropolis. The largest towns in the New West are about 6,000 folk, and that's it. And by the way, they love saying folk in this book, but I understand. Now, they romanticize the past. I told you about this. You have it on the screen right now. Nobody knows exactly who started it, but the Old West of pre-Rift's Earth has been romanticized, glamorized throughout the wilderness of the American West and Canadian Southwest. Historical figures such as Wyatt Earp, Buffalo Bill, General Custer, blah, blah, blah. Those are all, great, but they're mixed in with the fictional heroes of, Lone Ranger, Magnificent Seven, Roy Rogers,
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio Estevez, exactly right. John Wayne. All of this is taken as historical truth. So people have, came to the conclusion, well, this is how the world was. Let's remake how the world was. So that's why the New West is so much like the Old West. Like each town, if it has 200 people, it's got 4 saloons. All right. One church with 4 saloons. That's the way it is.
Dance hall and 2 to 12 saloons are typically located at the center of every town. Well, there you go.
Exactly. Now, that's just the way it is. If it's easy to picture a campaign in this world, because all you have to do is watch, say, Back to the Future 3, and think of what was the town that they always went back to?
I forget. I remember it had Mary Steenburgen in it, but I've barely remember that movie.
Okay, well, crap. The town that everything was based in, I forget. No, not Bonanza. But anyway, if you look at Back to the Future 3, that is what the New West is, except with mega damage armor, mega damage weapons, and mechanical horses and motorcycles and Hill Valley. Thank you very much, Lost Ogre. Hill Valley. That's it. The town of Hill Valley is a perfect example of a small town in the New West. Of
Tim
200
Bandrock said Hill Dale.
No,
this is Hill Valley or Hill Dale?
Hill Valley.
So here's a thought
experiment movie history. Westworld. Yeah, Hill Dale. No.
Well, here's a thought experiment for you. You watch Deadwood?
No.
Turn Deadwood with mechanical horses and yeah.
Okay, that's great.
With everybody screaming cocksucker, because apparently that was every other word that took up the entire script for a Deadwood episode.
All right, so let's move on and go to the law. Now, obviously, this is going to be page 12. Now, obviously, people who romanticize and want to recreate the Old West will recreate the law system of the Old West, which is swift and strict. The sheriff has the ability to hang folk whenever he wants, because a judge isn't going to come to town for the next 3 months, and we can't have you eating the town's food in a jail cell that long. So if he believes there's enough evidence that he is sure you did it, well, you get convicted and hung behind the sheriff's office, and that's it. You steal a horse, death penalty. You take to bed another man's wife, death penalty. Anything below that is considered a petty crime. Theft, that doesn't injure anyone. Cheating, that doesn't injure anyone. If you cheat in cards and a fight breaks out and you kill a guy, well, if you were the cheater, that's, well, death. You just killed a guy. But everything else is a little stint in jail, maybe a fine. They don't really care. They have other stuff to worry about, like surviving. This is very much a lawless area for the sole reason that everyone is too busy trying to stay alive to worry about lesser crap.
Or panning for them there gold in that hill.
Yeah, and then worried about someone, taking your claim and whatnot. Like I said, if you watch a Western movie, you can play in this era. Just emulate that. That's what they did. So that's what you do. As a matter of fact, let's go over some of the OCCs.
Are these mega damage pistols? Otherwise, I don't see them being much use.
Yes, yes and no. There's obviously regular SDC pistols, and there are MDC pistols that normal Rifts companies like Wilkes and another one I can't recall right now. They just stylize their MDC lasers to look like old Western pistols.
Pew pew.
Because that's what people here buy. That's what they want. The customer's always right. The customer wants an old-timey looking gun. Make that damn customer an old-timey looking gun. That way you get one more customer. That's how it works. Okay, what page are we going to?
Just showing some of the art in the meantime while you're looking for the page. Rustler. Okay. Outlaw steals cattle, horses, and other livestock. Well, that's my OCC. I'm going to be a rustler.
There it is.
A scalawag.
Okay, and NPC villains of the New West. 82.
Message redacted. What happened? We had 2 messages redacted on YouTube. I don't redact crap.
Well, it has to be either a link or an obvious, like, swear, C word, F word.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't redact anything. It might be a link. I have to look at that again.
All right, here we go. The OCCs and NPC villains of the New West. Now, as we go through this, we're going to touch in on most of them, and if you don't see it already, I'm going to tell you the core book analogy. AD&D had the random harlot table. Does Rifts have a whore? Yes. We're going to see her. Actually, if you scroll down,
you're breaking up. Hold on a second. You're sounding all robotic and jumping around.
Okay, sorry.
Please let me know if it's only me that's getting that, or if you guys are seeing that as well, because I don't know if it's my internet or his. But
you sound great. I look fine in the camera. Hello.
Oh, is my wrong answer? So you deleted? Okay, I got you. You don't have to delete stuff. It's okay, man.
No, he doesn't. There you go. It's just you. All right. If you scroll down that page a sec, same page, but scroll down, you see a list of the OCCs. And if
right
you
there.
look, adventurer and others, no. Saloon girl / barmaid. See her on the very bottom? That's her. There's your
I'm playing in the Wild West now.
Yes.
Can I smack her in the ass and call her bar wench?
Yep. And she has to take it because, the owner says so. All right, we're going to start with the obvious, which is on the very next page, the bandit. Now, the bandit is your basic highwayman. If you want an analogy to the core book, this would be a city rat. All right. Regardless of what the character may call himself, bandit, bandito, raider, gunman, bushwhacker, whatever, the typical bandit is a vagabond thug. Most are young drifters born to and raised by peasants. They see life as bullies, robbers, and outlaws, and as both a viable career and a means to be somebody. Most, 98%, are uneducated, and less than 1% are partially literate. The literacy rate in the New West is something like 25%, 25% tops that can actually read. And schooling?
Okay, so I got to step away for a second. I literally heard nothing you said in the last minute. I know you're talking. Nobody else is complaining. I heard a couple little robot blips. I will be right back, but keep doing your thing here because I heard nothing.
Okay. All right. So mostly the bandit is an NPC class because no one wants to be a bandit. An uneducated thug. Just again, if you go back to Back to the Future, in Back to the Future Part 3, the bandit OCC would be the main bad guy, whose name the character's name I can't remember either. I couldn't remember Hill Valley, and I can't remember someone can throw it in chat and remind me. But yes, a dumb, uneducated thug, a bully. Yes, henchman. This is basically a bad guy henchman NPC. Biff. That's right. Biff Tannen, Griff, I think, or Griff was the future one. Biff was the regular 1985 one, and the 1885 one was, not Biff, not Griff, but something like that. Still a Tannen. You're right. That's your bandit, and no one wants to be Biff. Come on. This is an NPC class, to be sure. No one's going to want to play this. This is stupid.
Okay, where are we? Nora was downloading a video game.
Oh, well, that'll do it. Buford. There you go. Buford Tannen. That's his name. All right. Now, if you go to page 84, you'll see that it is a bandit, NPC villain, or optional OCC. You're going to see that a lot in this book. You're going to see that a lot in this book. All right. Whenever it says NPC villain or optional OCC, in your mind, just erase optional OCC. Because if something is made to also be an NPC villain, it's not a hero. And heroes aren't going to want to play it. Because then we go from bandit highwayman, which is like, I guess, better than a bandit because
it's a different type of bandit.
Yeah, he robs stagecoaches instead of like just regular peasant folk, I guess. But again, NPC villain or optional OCC. Scroll down a little bit, you'll find it.
Oh, look at
that. There it is. Whenever it says that,
bushwhacker.
Just keep going. Whenever it says that, just keep going. As a matter of fact, we're finally going to hit the first OCC.
I want to be
doesn't say villain, which is bounty hunter.
I want to be a cyborg cattle rustler, bandit, whatever.
No, you don't want that. You don't want that. The bounty hunter OCC is exactly what you think it is. I mean, there as you can imagine, there's a lot of lawless folk.
It's the Pinkertons
in the New West. A lot of lawless folk, and some of them are convicted of crime and then escape. Jailbreaks happen all the time because they happened in the movie, so people think it should be done. So it happens. Someone needs to go hunt these people down. Well, there's no federal marshal. So guess what? We got bounty hunters. Now, in the real Old West, there were bounty hunters. It was not a glamorous job. Most of them died. But in the movies,
most of them were marshals also, or deputized by marshals.
Right, deputized by marshals, so they could, make a lawful arrest, even though at the end of it they will get paid.
I mean, the most famous one are the Pinkertons.
Yeah, but most of them died because it's a dangerous job. But in the movies, the bounty hunter always gets his man, right? So that it became something that people wanted to be. So they are. But now it doesn't get a lot of respect. Being a bounty hunter, walking in town, everyone knows that you're going to bring or cause trouble.
Well, because on top of that, you got the law
right now.
You got the law being, thinking that, well, apparently somebody thinks I can't do my job. The other side, the outlaws think that somebody's a snitch. No matter what you do, you're wrong.
Just know that shit. Sally is going to get randomly shot by someone today again. Mm-hmm. So no one wants you in town. Nobody. But you got a job to do, and it's romantic. And you love it, and it brings your life hope and peace and whatever. That's great. It's just, again, if you look at the alignment, see, this is another thing. OCCs that allow evil alignments, I don't get. It's right there. Yeah, alignment any, but tend to be anarchist and evil alignments. It
How's
even
being a bounty hunter
be a dick.
Yeah, how is being a bounty hunter evil?
Because you have to be okay with killing people.
I mean, I can understand what I forget what all of them are. I can understand the anarchists. I can understand the unscrupulous.
Yep.
But I could actually see aberrant, because that's somebody who's so about the law that that's your pure lawful neutral jerk. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, with the exception of the extreme ends, I don't see how a bounty hunter is, unless they're thinking of him as just as a straight up 2-dimensional mercenary, just does stuff for money. You give me $5, I shoot somebody. Okay. Most bounty hunters weren't like that.
Well, no, most of them weren't. But again, fact and fiction were blurred after the apocalypse. So here we are. And if you are a thug, a bandit, or you're going to grow your daddy was a bandit, his daddy was a bandit, and by God, you're going to go into the banditry, son. You're a mugger, damn it. You're going to mug.
What do we do?
We're muggers. Exactly. But you have aspiration, you have hope, you have dreams, and you're just a hair smarter than your pa. You too can be a bounty hunter. Just as despicable, just as evil, but better paid. And maybe with a bionic arm. Yay. Again, NPC villain or OCC. But notice it doesn't say optional OCC. It says OCC and NPC villain. If you look back at Bandit and Highwayman, it says NPC villain or optional OCC. So this is a real OCC that your characters can actually pick. I wouldn't let them because, again, it's dumb. And then we get to
Do you think the bounty hunter is dumb?
But a bounty hunter, it causes more problems story-wise and role-play-wise than it solves.
That like seems a bit two-dimensional, though.
Nobody likes you. Nobody wants you there.
But let's use the Pinkerton example. You're deputized by the Pinkertons. You're not of the, the completely anarchist, evil alignment, so forth.
Sure.
I can understand suspicion. Absolutely. There's always suspicion. But, I mean, I don't see that it has to send it awry. In fact, I would think of this, unless there's another OCC that covers this at some point, like literally a marshal. Yeah. Okay. Well, then never mind. Then I backtrack. So.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, at the very least, everyone in town knows something that they don't want to happen is probably going to happen. Whether you're in the right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Something's going to blow up. There's going to be a running gunfight somewhere. And most likely an innocent person is going to be put in danger. That's what they know when you walk into town as a bounty hunter. Dick. And then we get into even more professional asshole OCCs, the gunfighter. This is a guy.
Don't confuse the gunfighter with the gunslinger. Really?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I would confuse them quite a bit because in my mind they're the exact same thing. But the gunfighter is a combination of weapons master, marksman, mechanic, at least when it comes to weapons, and mercenary fighter. He is the headhunter of the core riffs. He is kind of like a jack of all trades type thing, but jack of all trades if all the trades were just killing folk, all the different ways to kill people, looked upon more favorably than a bounty hunter because a gunslinger is a little more romanticized. A gunslinger is just as dangerous. When a gunslinger comes into town, you know someone's going to get shot or he's going to shoot someone. You don't know it for a fact, but you know it. The possibility of a gunfight at the saloon just went up 822%. All right. But he's sexy. The women swoon. The men want to be him. The women want to lock him down. But he can't be locked down, ladies. He's a tumbleweed. He's the wind. He blows in, he blows out, baby. And if he leaves you with a surprise 9 months from now, that's on you. He ain't coming back. That's how it is. And now that is a gunslinger. You can make an entire party of gunslingers. You can do it. It can work. Gunfighter equals cyber samurai. Gunslinger equals true samurai. Maybe.
I don't know enough about this world book to. It sounds. I mean, if that's the distinction they make, okay.
Yeah. Gunslingers are often hired by towns, ranchers, wealthy business owners, and lawmen as bodyguards, bouncers, defenders, militia leaders, and sheriff's deputies. Some gunfighters even become sheriffs or champions themselves.
Where are you reading this?
Community. However, most are adventurers, always on the prowl in search of action, challenge, and profit, using their wits and their guns. They are addicted to excitement and travel. Now, when they get older, if you are an aged gunfighter and you want to retire, they usually retire as a sheriff of a town. You know, that's your retirement plan. You're not actively looking for fights, so the odds of you living increase dramatically. But you are a sheriff, so you still have all those gunslinger skills, which are many, as you can see. The sharpshooting, paired weapons, quick.
Oh, come on, number 4 is awesome.
Shoot accurately while standing on your head or hanging upside down. All bonuses applicable in full. That is true. Yeah, I mean, they even have shooting from a horse. Usually, if you're shooting from a vehicle, moving on a horse, on a buggy, and a motorcycle, running, walking, whatever, you get no bonuses, or at worst, it's a wild shot. But gunslingers, gunfighters, and one other class in this book, I believe, those penalties are negated.
Here we go again, though.
What?
Typically, anarchists are evil.
Because this is the romanticized Wild West. Everyone is out for themselves. A stranger is danger. That's why I don't like this book. I told you in the beginning, I don't like this book. I don't like it because of what it is. It is a book of villains. It's a book of villainy. It is a book of distrust. It is the worst possible example of what happens to an ordered society after an apocalypse. You thought the core book was bad? Oh, the coalition turned into a fascist. I would gladly live under the safety and security of a Prosec compared to the dysentery filled hell that is the New West. All right.
So it's The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Take the absolute worst example at all possible occasions, and there you go.
No. Then it wouldn't be The Walking Dead. It would be Fear the Walking Dead, which is not only a worse series, but everybody's in worse shape.
Well, I felt, well, even through the comic book, I kind of felt like, really, there's not a single nice human being out there somewhere. Everyone. Yeah.
That's basically here. And awesome. If we move on, but he is, if you look on page 91, he is not an optional OCC.
Right.
He is an OCC and NPC villain. Not optional. But we move on to the gunslinger. Now, this is where we get into the
Oh, so as if the other ones weren't bad enough. Now you really the only thing meaner, deadlier, lower than a rattlesnake is a gunslinger.
yeah. You're looking at the good, the bad, the ugly, quick and the dead. You know, these are the gunslingers. And again, for some reason, I can't remember names today.
Well, his name was Bob.
Do you feel lucky, punk? Clint Eastwood. Yeah, Clint. Pick almost any Clint Eastwood character. That's a gunslinger. Okay, he may have a heart of gold, but it's covered under so many layers of
soot and dirt,
of dirt and screw you, that you're probably not going to see any glint of gold anywhere. But gunslingers are generally feared by most people and regarded as paid assassin and murdering brigands. The gunslinger's reputation has not been enhanced by those mean-spirited bastards who kill at the slightest provocation, behave like arrogant bullies, and hurt or kill innocent people without any apparent remorse. Indeed, the worst gunslingers are paid assassins, villains who enjoy killing, who have very little regard for life. Many of these vermin like the sense of power that killing gives them. But again,
hi, I'm Kravopolis Michael.
The bottom of it, OCC doesn't even say villain. After that, after what I just read to you, it no longer says NPC villain for this. That's disgusting.
Next time you talk about this one, you got to play that little Rick and Morty thing. Hi, I'm Kravopolis Michael. I love killing. I'll kill women, children, old people, kids.
That's pretty much what a gunslinger does. He doesn't care. But a gunslinger, of course, has all of the normal gunslinger type tropes. He can do trick shots, quick draw. He can fire two guns at the same target with no penalties.
Kind of looks like Clint.
He gets an increased initiative on top of his quick draw, meaning that when he's using a revolver or handgun in some way, he gets not on top of his normal bonuses to initiative, he gets an added bonus if he's using a revolver or handgun on top of that. So he's going to win against anyone who's not a gunslinger or a gunfighter. He's going to win initiative, and you're going to get shot in the face. Hope you can handle it. Now, the interestingly enough, if you look on the page 94, power number 5 is a horror factor. They're so feared that normal people have to roll horror factor when seeing them and realizing what they are.
So when you do that standoff at 10 paces and so forth, that's the guy going.
Yeah, that's the guy shaking, trying to go toward his gun because he's that scared. Yes, because he knows he's going up against a gunslinger, and the gunslinger reputation is to kill you and piss on your corpse. That's because the reputation is they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. As a matter of fact, after they kill you, they'll probably take your wife, because guess what? She's not married anymore.
Well, at least once.
At least once. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Shane. There you go. Shane would, heart of gold, like I said, heart of gold underneath, but covered in dirt, grime, and dung. That's what a gunslinger is. And at levels 5, 10, and 15, they get 1 extra melee attack with a pistol or revolver only. So only when they're I know Max Liao has a problem with the boxing skill, because the boxing skill gives you a +1 attack across the board, whether you're boxing or not. But the gunslinger only gets a +1 at these levels, and only when using a revolver or handgun.
And not a laser one, because I won't allow it. It has to have recoil.
No.
Then it's not a revolver.
It is. It is. It says, that's why it says revolver or handgun. It's a handgun. It's a gun that is in one hand. All right, and then we will move on to, here you go, page 96. Here's your Justice Ranger. This is your marshal.
Okay. So the first actually decent. So a couple things I want to say real quick before you move on. Somebody was saying in a couple of comments, which I have not got to the YouTube comments as well as I should have this week, but said that Perez is a good artist. Well, here's a Perez. I would say that's decent art. It's definitely better than the art that was in that horrible Slicers book.
It's true, yes, and it is Western themed stylized. It's rough, it's gruff, but it does have it does have a lot of detail when it comes to the flare. Like if you look on his sleeve,
Yep.
the Mesoamerican type
Absolutely.
styling on his sleeve and the buckles in the backpack.
Mhm.
But if you look at other things like the face and the hands, they are much more stylized, less photorealistic.
But you know,
that's on
you know
purpose.
what you're looking at.
Exactly. That is on purpose to elicit an emotional response, not a failing of the artist. So that's pretty good.
Exactly. Agreed.
Justice Rangers are similar to the Texas Rangers of old. They roam the land fighting wrongs and bringing justice to an untamed frontier. Like the Cyber Knights who wander the Americas, Justice Rangers tend to travel alone in pairs or in small groups with other lawmen, gunfighters, and adventurers. They lead a heroic existence, fighting to protect the innocent from those who enslave, abuse, plunder, and kill, or to avenge their deaths. Oh my God, we've come across a hero. It took us a long time, but we finally got here. We got to an actual OCC that I would allow players to be. And it's a Cyber Knight without all the cool psionics.
Well, and probably not all the, I'm guessing, but probably not all the rules restrictions either.
Oh, yeah. Not all the rules restrictions either. That's true. That's true. Now, if you go to the next page, they get weapon mastery and bonuses, quick draw initiative with handguns or rifles. Unlike the gunslinger, they also get this bonus for rifles. So they can do all the cool trick shots and stuff like that. And they have a reputation as well. But unlike the gunslinger, this reputation is awe instead of horror. Because he's a Justice Ranger. He's a lawman. He rides in on his white horse and he saves the day. If a Justice Ranger comes into your town, instead of everyone believing there's an 82% chance that someone's going to get shot,
now it's a 95% chance, but it should be the bad guy.
Yeah, there's a 95% chance someone's going to shot, but there's only a 1% chance it's going to be a townsfolk. It's going to be someone innocent. The person who gets shot is going to be a bad guy. And this Justice Ranger would gladly take 17 bullets for a child he doesn't know, or a woman he's never met, or a man he's never seen before on the street.
I'm going to derail this for just a second.
Okay.
Compare them to Lone Star.
Lone Star from the Texas book?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, a real world comparison would be someone from the city of Houston is a Texan. He has Texan values.
Mm-hmm.
But someone from, say, Southwest, a small town in Southwest Texas, also from Texas, also has Texas values, but also has all of the Texas superstition and bigotry and bullshit and nonsense. That's exactly what the New West is. Lone Star is if Texas just kept going in some way, you know, like Texas.
So the Lone Star of the Texas source book is actually more civilized.
Yes.
Okay.
Lone Star is more civilized. They did not romanticize. They didn't accidentally romanticize movies and fictional novels of the Old West. They didn't lose their actual records, so they had fact to build upon, and their society didn't completely break down. So they actually kept some semblance of their culture and just moved forward. Whereas in the New West, it just regressed back to the social Stone Age. It was awful. This place is awful. You don't want to live here at all. Seriously. I mean, do you want your doctors to be barbers again? No, you don't. But guess what? They are
surgeons.
Yeah. No, your barber is your surgeon.
Right.
That's what it is. Let's see what else. Yeah, they don't get a whole lot of powers. They just get a whole lot of respect.
That could be a power in and of itself.
Yeah.
So, let's backtrack just a little bit. I don't want to scroll all the way back, but compare skills then.
Okay.
Do they get more skills?
Yes. They are some of that. That is really good. That's a good catch. That is really their only main perk, is that they get the most skills out of almost any of these OCCs, because like I said, most people can't even read, let alone have any book learning. You know, they burn books not for principle, they burn them for warmth, because they're as useful as logs because no one can read. But the Justice Ranger actually has some real schooling. He has some real proper education and has an IQ minimum. It's 9. You have to be an average IQ to be a Justice Ranger, but there was no IQ minimum for anything before this. So you're winning.
I'm going to interrupt real quickly for two things. Number one, something popped up on the screen on the Twitch side, which reminds me, please follow. Followers can enter our giveaways. When we hit 2,000 subs on YouTube, I know that doesn't make sense. It popped up on Twitch, but I'm talking about YouTube. Whatever. When we hit 2,000 subs on YouTube, we will have a giveaway. I've got 3 possible tabletop RPG hardcovers or physical copies that I'd like to give away. Also, if you're liking this, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe! Not as good as Garth Thump, but I'll go with it. And by all means, please share this video. All right. Oh, and Heathen Dog. I think I killed Heathen Dog with subscribe. So segment 2 today will be a more controversial topic, but we want to bring everybody in at that point. But that'll be after this one is done.
Yes, it will.
Oh, we got 50 bits from Ravens there. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Ravens there for the bits.
So
every penny counts.
If you wanna fight and kill folk and not
folk.
care,
Okay.
gunslinger, gunfighter, bandit, highwayman, OCCs are for you.
So if you just want to be the rootinest, shootinest, tootinest, whatever the hell he used to say,
Yep.
bam, bam, bam.
Yep. Do that. But the Justice Ranger has less abilities than all of those, but is the only one so far that is actually respected and has any semblance of a real education. And after that, we get into again obvious analogies to stuff in the core book. This is a Psi Slinger. A Psi Slinger is a latent psychic with the ability of sixth sense and the ability to power his or her weapons with nothing more than psychic energy. He is the technomancer of the Wild West. He can take any gun, power it with his brain pan, and shoot out psychic bullets that do mega damage.
Okay, now the game just got weird.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay. Now it got weird. All right.
Now it got weird.
I'll take it. Obviously, his abilities. They go on to psychic weapons, energy expulsion. Psi Slinger can fire bolts of energy from his fingers. Finger guns are a real thing now.
Now I got that South Park song stuck in my head.
The finger blaster one.
No, finger bang. I'm gonna finger bang you into the night.
Yep. Psychic weapons. These guns are reminiscent of Techno Wizard guns, exact copies that fire mega damage energy blasts rather than bullets. And in this case, the Psi Slinger can power and charge the projectiles in any SDC weapon with destructive energy by linking to the weapon. So this is actually the most economical of the fighter classes in this book, because SDC bullets and SDC guns, normal bullets, are dirt cheap because they're not going to protect you in the vast emptiness and hellscape that is the New West. But a gunslinger can turn even the most innocuous 22 into a super tank busting bang bang bullet.
You mean the Psi Slinger?
Sorry, Psi Slinger. Thank you. To turn it into a tank buster bang bang bullet with the power of his mind alone. So for a couple of credits, you can take down an army. That's great. Good job, book.
So one of the things I'm noticing here when it comes to these
damage energy beams and blasts directed at them into SDC blast hit point damage. Even the Psi Slinger isn't sure how he does it. He just that is such a cop out. The game didn't want to explain it, so they said, fucking mystery, whatever. It's magic. What are you doing?
Here's one of the things that I'm noticing about this book so far, and it's one of those things where correct me if I'm wrong, but it just goes in the philosophy of everybody has it, then it's not special. Every single person so far seems to get a whole bunch of trick shooting abilities, which again, I get it, fits the theme.
Yep.
But at the same time, if everybody's getting it, it's kind of like, is it really all that special?
Yes, and I was actually waiting for someone in chat to say that, but you did, and that's exactly why you're not supposed to mix world books. Because if you take any of these characters, any of them, and move them into the core riffs with their shooting abilities, with their attack abilities, they would run roughshod over anyone minus a juicer and maybe a crazy. No one else is going to be able to stand up to these guys in a fight. No one.
So what about, let's say, a one shot?
Magic. Yeah, it doesn't matter. A gunslinger and a gunfighter have like a plus 22 to initiative. Guess who's never getting a spell off? Goddamn mage is never getting a spell off because he's going to get shot in the eye.
Can you see a point where, let's say on like a one-shot basis where somebody comes in, you're playing core, just a core rule book, sure, and you let somebody play this character one time, not so much as an NPC, but just as a one-shot, like, yeah, bring your character over, it's the same level, so on and so forth. Help them hunt this DB down, and then you'll go back, to your separate ways, whatever.
Just passing through like a bounty hunter.
Could that be viable, or would he be overpowered?
He would be OP, but if he matches the creature of the week or the end of that particular adventure creature or being you are hunting, and he takes him back to the New West, and you never see them again, it can be fun for the players.
Okay.
But the problem with that is introducing these rules into the core campaign is a dangerous Pandora's box that you want to bury in the desert and never find again.
Well, I can see that. I mean, just the weird stuff like shooting accurately while standing on head or upside down. I mean, it almost breaks, I don't want to say the physics, but you know how I talk about that when you create the rules
of the core game.
Right. Exactly. It's like your physical constants in the world, your 9.81 meters per second squared gravity is now 10 meters per second squared over here, but 8 meters per second squared over here. It doesn't look like a lot, but somebody falls softer and maybe takes a little less damage.
Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
Totally broken analogy, but you get what I'm saying when you have these rules that don't exactly mix and match right. Yeah. So to go back on Heathen Dog's premise, world books are their own individual, inside a box, shut the door, lock it with a lockbox, and that was apropos for this time.
Never come out with your characters in your campaign. Right. Now, if you finish this campaign and you still want to play, your group still wants to play Rifts and they want to play Rifts in Japan, you roll up new characters using the new book as your basis. That's how you do it. You don't need all the books. You need the core book and one world book to run a full campaign.
And the core book is just for the core rules, not for the OCCs.
Yes. But if your world book has a laundry list like this one does of OCCs, you use these. Mm-hmm. Because as you see later on, we're going to have crazy juicer equivalents.
Nice. How about Glitter Boy?
No,
I can't stand the Glitter Boy, but it is iconic for Rifts.
It is iconic. Okay, the next one is page 101, the Saddle Tramp.
Okay.
Yep. No, I told you this book is shitty. The Saddle Tramp is the nomadic vagabond of the New West. These characters like to think of themselves as free spirit, jack of all trades who ride wherever the wind blows them and stop for a while whenever they please. In reality, most are uneducated drifters born of peasants or bandits with little or no formal education and minimal training in any profession. Basically, they are romanticized absolute losers.
Romanticized losers. Are they supposed to be the sidekicks?
They're supposed to not be played. All right. But if you look on the next page, they are Shadow Boy. Yeah, they are an actual OCC, not optional OCC. Nathaniel says it can be fun to mix a bunch of them together if you're running a massively over-the-top campaign, but the GM and players had better be prepared to make adjustments on the fly. Yeah. Your game master better know the core book, this book, the other book, inside and out, right and left, up and down, left, right, and center, because the rules and powers will contradict each other between the core book, this rule book, this world book, that world book. Everything is so different. It's just you better have an entire jar of migraine medicine just ready. Just eat them like Tic Tacs, because that's how hard it is trying to mix world books together. Don't do it. The Saddle Tramp is basically someone too stupid to be successful, but too fast and strong to fail.
He gets bullied all the time, needs a high PE.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, my daddy was a bandit. He killed old ladies for their money, but I'm better than that.
You got to spit after you say that.
Sorry. Notice the attribute requirement. We're back to no IQ, because you don't need an IQ to be a loser. And then
Aw.
and then we have another heroic character. Oh my god, it's a sheriff or your general
far,
lawman.
our two hero I can't talk. Our two heroic characters are basically a marshal and a sheriff.
Yes. You have your marshal over the giant area, which is the Justice Ranger, and then you have your sheriff, which is a local jurisdiction, but the same thing. Great. Okay. What do they get? Well, they get weapon mastery and bonuses. Obviously, everyone does. Quick draw initiative, handguns, or rifles, just like the Justice Ranger. Rifles count in this one. And you get your reputation. So basically, the sheriff is all but a lesser qualified. The sheriff is a lesser qualified Justice Ranger. Like, you don't quite have the stats for a Justice Ranger, but don't worry, you can probably be a sheriff.
So what's the benefit then? Why would you do this over Justice Ranger?
The only reason is if number one, you don't quite have the stats of a Justice Ranger, because they have a higher ME and MA that they have to have than a sheriff does. But the main reason you would pick a lawman over a Justice Ranger is if the game master setting is all in the same town. Like, you're in a big town of, say, like 6,000 people, and you want to be a lawman. You can be a sheriff's deputy and be a first level lawman OCC.
Ooh. So it starts with a fair to good quality horse or a battered looking Northern Gun hovercycle from Rift's Lone Star.
Yes. Reduce the usual MDC by 3d4%. Okay. Yeah. It's a used car. You got yourself a used Toyota. Good job. Great.
Prius.
But there is a sheriff's deputy OCC. So if you're not the sheriff, but you are the deputy,
they'll make songs about you.
Die, so that's good. Also known simply as deputies, they're sheriff's handpicked police officers and make up the majority of large Western police forces. They are expected to be as loyal and trustworthy as the sheriff, although they are rarely as skilled. Since deputies are always volunteers, these men and women tend to be very heroic and very loyal to the sheriff and or their community, sometimes to the point of fanaticism. There's many a story where a sheriff and 5 to 10 good deputies held a DB horde or an outlaw band at bay when the town depended on. I just went there. It just happened. Yeah, that was organic. Other times, deputies can be family members, brother, cousin, etc. Kind of like the ERPs type thing.
Hey, next time you go into that accent, you guys start playing the spoons.
I don't have, darn it. In the worst of situations, the sheriff's deputies may be saloon bums, saddle tramps, petty crooks, farmers, or any other able-bodied willing to stand at the side. The situation and quality of the law will vary dramatically from town to town. Okay, yeah. Apparently, did you hear that?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't hear exactly what it was, but
all right, I got to take care of that in a second. But I'm going to get through this.
Somebody having too much fun?
Yep. Being a deputy, you need, again, it says IQ, a high IQ and PS are helpful, but not mandatory.
So Lost Ogre says, no, right there, Lost Ogre, Sheriff OCC
and NPC. Yes, you can play a sheriff, and it's better than playing a deputy because you get more skills.
So if you really roll poorly, so if you roll well, you play the marshal. I already forgot what the name of it is.
Ranger.
The Justice Ranger. If you roll, you play the sheriff. And if you just your dice came up crap, all right, now you're playing the deputy.
Yeah, but the deputy is, if you look in the powers, go ahead and try and find them.
Cybernetics. Oh wait, none.
Powers, and I'll be back in a second.
I think this is a trick question. I think we're on a snipe hunt right now. Let's see. What kind of power? Player character and deputies are less likely to develop their own reputations. Oh, that's a power, right? Nobody knows me. The power of anonymity. We're going with it. Let's see. Got to have some average stats there. I'm still going with the power of anonymity. Yep. He's the same as a sheriff, first aid medical kit, starts a fairly good quality horse, or a battered looking hover vehicle. Weapons include neural maze. Nope. Well, our snipe hunt is over. And so this is the crazy of the Out West, the Wild West. Well, shh, don't tell them we talked about that already. That's gonna have to be another donation goal
Too
thing.
late.
He has
I
to
heard
speak
that.
crotchety and old miner for.
All right.
So
So,
no, we got it.
What powers does the deputy have?
The power of anonymity.
There you go. That's it. We have now reached the first OCC, optional, villain, or otherwise, that doesn't have superpower gunslinging abilities. So, being the deputy OCC is stupid. Yes, you never ever want to be that.
I know that
if you want to die quickly or be ineffectual in most cases, yeah, okay, we have deputies for you. Yeah.
Palladium is fairly old school in the fact that it doesn't balance everything and it's crunchy and so forth, right?
Right.
I get that. But even in the core book, well, things aren't fully balanced. There's a role and a purpose for every OCC that you can see, depending on the campaign that you make. I mean, sure, you could always play a juicer and be the actual best combatant on the field at that point. However, you're still not going to stop a boom gun, at least not happily. You've got your different magic types and so forth. Again, if you look at them, with the exception of that fusionist that we both thought was stupid, that they added in later, you look at it and you can find a role for everything. I'm not seeing a role for this.
No, as a player character, no. As an NPC, oh sure, 100%. There is a place for a deputy as an NPC.
Right. And no, Lost Ogre, I agree. I don't believe in things being balanced.
Being perfectly balanced. No, you don't.
But I do believe in being viable.
Exactly. You need a game master that is going to allow, depending on what OCCs are actually taken already, you want to make sure that they choose OCCs that are synergistic and work well and do not work against the campaign, the story, and other characters. And in a lot of cases, the deputy OCC is not going to assist any character. Is not going to be. I'm not saying that the deputy is going to be a boat anchor. I'm thinking it, but I'm not saying it. But he is not going to enhance anyone's gameplay. All right, he's just not. Now it should say a lot of other
deputy's a bullet catcher. Who wants to play that?
Deputy's a bullet catcher. Yeah, a meat shield for the sheriff.
Who wants to play that?
Yeah, who wants to play the meat shield? I mean, really? Come on. But in a lot of places, it says optional OCC and NPC or optional OCC and NPC villain. This one does not say optional. It is a legit OCC that nobody should take.
It's a haha OCC.
Yeah. Let's move on to something useful, but immensely less respected. Now we've seen the Justice Ranger, the Sheriff or Lawman, and the Deputy. You know, they have the declining levels of power, but all of them are respected. When they walk into the room, people feel better. When this guy walks into a room, everyone walks out of it. And I'll show you why. The Wired Gunslinger is a character who has been mechanically hardwired for greater reflexes, reaction time, and response movement. Basically, the character is programmed to respond to movement, quickly identify an enemy or hostile action, and respond by targeting, quick draw, and shooting him dead. The original concept was to I'm not going to read it. They figure, hey, you know what? If we take a crazy, right? But we don't fully crazify someone. We'll only do a couple of brain implants just for reflexes. None of that I don't feel pain nonsense. None of that psychic power nonsense. None of that, leaping tall buildings with a single bound bullshit. No, we're just going to wire his reflexes, right? He'll probably be okay, right? I mean, he probably won't go insane, right? Wrong. It turns out bad. You start messing with your brain, it always turns bad. Unfortunately, the side effects and mental problems that plague the crazy are also prevalent in the Wired Gunslinger, although in some ways not as extreme. I disagree with that statement. I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly because the Wired Gunslinger... It's
the same chart.
Yeah. No. He gets not only problems of the same chart as the crazy, but he also gets his own special Wired Gunslinger stuff, which is, I think, worse.
Okay.
In a lot of cases. But let's look at it. Let's look at his powers. danger response. This one's special because no one else has this. Automatically notices and reacts to movement, especially movement seen out of the corner of the eye. It is an instinctive and reflexive response to draw and point his gun at anything that moves because it could be an enemy or it startles him. Just pray he doesn't shoot first and ask questions later. Many do. In many situations, the character's reflex reaction to even overwhelming odds is to shoot, dodge, and keep shooting until everyone's dead. This causes the deaths of many wired gunslingers, but 25% kill themselves after 10 plus 2d4 years because of the weight of either guilt of shooting innocents or the idea that it's going to happen.
Wow. So they kind of juicered him.
Oh, yeah. They kind of psychologically juicered 25% of them. Just, they self-check out because the weight of I'm going to kill a kid or I have killed a kid by accident is so heavy.
What's the copyright date of this book?
That they check out. What's that?
What's the copyright date of this book? I mean, the art here is 1997, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
98.
Okay, I'm going to point out
this
something.
This is the second printing, though. So the first one maybe was 97. The first one.
Well, the PDF was 2016.
Okay.
I just want to point out something here, completely tangential to what he's saying. Automatically notices and reacts to movement, especially movement seen outside the corner of the eye. Perfectly written sentence. How would this be written in modern speak with these other people that want to change language?
They automatically notice and react to movement.
Well, maybe. Sorry, it has to do with this word right here.
Corner of the eye?
Yes.
Yes. They would put their eye.
Right. This is a correct sentence. I want everybody to see this. This is a correct sentence. There, the pronoun has no use here. Stop doing that everywhere. Okay. On to our regularly scheduled.
But I'm glad for another reason you highlighted that sentence because this breaks a lot of powers, especially in the World Book Japan, because the World Book Japan has ninja crazies and ninja juicers
really?
and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, you thought juicers or crazies were bad? You wait until they're also ninjas. Okay. They're also
to be fair,
ninjas.
the original mom implants were to do that. Yeah, when we read through the Rift's book, the original mom implants, that's kind of what it was about.
Yeah. But in Japan, they actually also made them ninjas, which made them better because it gave them ancient Japanese knowledge to for days at a time suppress all of their insanities.
I don't want to see what happens when they finally release them, but okay, let's move on.
Yeah. No one wants to be around that. But this automatically notices and reacts to movement, especially movement seen out of the corner of the eye. A lot of the Japanese crazy and Japanese juicer powers are immense stealth, completely silent movement, all but invisibility. The word there is all but. And this guy automatically notices and reacts to movement.
Well, you know
if
why?
It is inside his field of vision and it's moving, there is no roll. This sentence negates anything except an absolute impossible to see situation.
He practiced on all the Chinese building the railroad.
Wow. All right, moving on. All right. And of course, you get the crazy bonuses. The increased physical strength, physical prowess, and speed, but to nowhere near the actual crazy. You get a save versus horror factor at several levels, +1 attack per round, regardless of the weapon being used, because you're just faster. They just, the implants just made you faster. +3, +1d4, +3, plus an additional 1d4 rolled one time. Initiative with any weapon or hand-to-hand combat, and you get an automatic dodge. Now, crazies in the original book in the 90s did not get auto dodge. The only OCC that got an auto dodge was the juicer. This book was one of the first ones to give something someone besides the juicer an auto dodge.
Well, but it really did strip down the rest of the crazy's powers.
Well, so yeah. It did because it specifically did not give him all the crazy implants because they wanted to make him less crazy.
But this is a big buff.
Auto dodges are huge.
I get it. He doesn't get the bonuses and so forth, but it's still.
Yes. It's read differently by different game masters. Okay. There are three camps. One that is wrong, one that is I can see it go both ways, and one that is probably technically by the rules. The one that's wrong is all dodge bonuses also apply to auto dodge. That is specifically
I thought
wrong.
we read that in the Rift's book. Like
Yes,
we went
that
through.
is
I thought
specifically
we
wrong, but I see a lot of game masters doing that. That is specifically wrong. The middle of the road camp is your natural physical prowess bonus and specific auto dodge bonuses apply to auto dodge. There's argument for this. I mean, there's an argument for your raw natural ability to move quickly would enhance any kind of dodge. I see it. I get it. I can rationalize it in my head. But according
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you fail an auto dodge, can you spend an action for a full dodge to
no, you get hit?
Then I would say I like that rule.
Yes, that's the one I use. Because of that, that's the one I use. But by the book, only bonuses that specifically say auto dodge bonus apply. Other than that, pure die roll. That is
if you could choose to say, okay, I failed this, so now I'll try to take an action, kind of like avoid what was that? The Earth Dawn talent,
avoid blow.
Avoid blow, kind of like where it's like, oh, he hit me, hold on, let me roll. No, he didn't.
Yeah, but if you fail that, there's a consequence.
Right. Oh, no. Well, the consequence in this one is using up an action.
Yeah.
And when you got like 4, 5, 12 actions per round. So what my point being is, like, I would go really hardcore with it if you could do that. But since you can't, I think that balance, like you said, the way you do is actually a very fair way to play.
Is the way to go in most cases. I agree. But like I was saying, in the original book, and at the time this book came out, the juicer was the only person to get an auto dodge. This
14 world books. This is the first one.
One of the, I'm not sure about because this is World Book 14. All right, but this is one of the first ones to get an auto dodge outside of the juicer. Now in the new the Rift's Ultimate book,
boom,
crazies get auto dodge. Crazies now also get an auto dodge on top of the juicer in the core book. Nathaniel says Serpentine Power Armor World Book 2 Atlantis also gave auto dodge, and that's not limited to a specific class. You just have to get your hands on it. Yes. Atlantis is a multi-dimensional nexus, which is also the considered a multi-dimensional flea market run by a supernatural godlike being. So you can get anything in the universe can be bought. If it's for sale, it can be bought in Atlantis. That's why I would never let my player characters go to Atlantis, because if they accidentally had enough money, they could get some phase world shit, and I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Okay, so when we go on the next page and we get expertise with all handguns. All handguns. You just pick it up and you can use it. It's great. Quick draw.
Where are you with this one? Oh, okay. Never mind. I was already on the next page. Never mind.
Paired weapons. This is the ability to fire two weapons in both hands at the same time at the same target by only using one action. It's great. You can split it to fire at two people at the same time, but you must roll two separate times to hit each target. So you're shooting them at the same time, but you're still having to do two actions. But if you fire both guns at the same person, one action, but you get to roll twice the damage if you hit. Good on you. And of course, if both your hands are busy, it's hard parrying. If both your hands are shooting, so you lose the auto parry, but you still have your auto dodge. You can still dodge. Don't worry. And you get your sharpshooting specialty like all the others. You know, the riding over the shoulder, using a mirror, bouncing off of cast iron pans to hit someone behind a wall, whatever. You get all that crap. You get a +1 melee attack at levels 5, 10, and 15. This is on top of your hand-to-hand combat number of attacks going up as you level up. These are extra. You just get more.
Where are you seeing this?
That's number 8. It's in there.
Yeah, got it. Yep.
There it is. Number 8. And of course, you have a reputation. This is you are yet another class like the gunslinger and gunfighter. When you walk into town, people are like, "Oh crap. Damn it. Why? also known as the brain fry. Yeah. So we have an OCC and NPC villain. Have you noticed a pattern? A lot of these OCCs are either optional or just bad guy OCCs.
I the crazy's always, well, crazy.
Fair.
Come on, really?
Yes. Yes. I mean, they purposefully make these OCCs to be not only very hard to play, but very hard to play as a good guy. Very hard.
I already don't like Westerns and the Wild West and so forth. I mean, I didn't watch Serenity or Firefly until years after when actually Heathen Dogs, one that got me to watch it when I was in Japan, because I don't like Western themed stuff. So I'm already not interested in this. Now you're making some of the coolest, most iconic Western style classes, tropes, villains.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Nathaniel, original Robotech mecha worries him more than stuff from Phase World. I disagree.
You talked about that in a previous episode.
Yeah, we did talk about that. While Robotech mecha, because of the protoculture power matrix, it has much better response time, better bonuses, better initiative, better everything than your normal robot power armor. But protoculture cannot grow within 100 miles of a ley line. And if you can find some place that's not 100 miles from a ley line and on Rift's Earth, good luck.
Does it matter how powerful the ley line is?
No.
So
any ley line will not grow within 100 miles of it. And Robotech MDC, both structural MDC and damage is less than baseline core rulebook Rifts by about 10 to 15% in both areas. So they are less powerful. The only thing different is the protoculture. And depending on what era you're from, you either have 20 years or 6 months. And then you have to get it powered either by a nuclear reactor or a techno wizard, and then you lose all of your protoculture bonuses and you just have a shitty robot. I mean, sure, being able to transform would look neat, but at the end of the day, it doesn't give you enough bonuses to be actually useful.
What about for a Destroid? Forget that transforming stuff. Just give me a Destroid.
There you go. Let's go to the insanities.
Oh, let's go back
Phobia.
up there.
Fears other gunslingers, rival brain fries, and crazies. He knows they're out to get him, so he tries to avoid their company. Usually accept they're mocking him. Will usually accept they're mocking him, back down from their challenges, and avoid showdowns and fights against them. That one's not so bad, right? I mean, you're to other gunslingers and crazies, you're a wuss, but that's not as bad. It gets worse. Paranoia. They're all out to get me.
Isn't that what the first one was?
That's number 2. They're all out to get me.
Now they're all out. But the first one was like, some are out to get me. Now they're all out to get you.
The character believes that most people hate him out of jealousy because he's better than they are, or dislike him because they fear him. As a result, he believes they, in quotation marks, are out to get him in some way. Kill, imprison, cheat, rob, whatever.
Yep.
The character blames all of his misfortunes and ill will on them, essentially leery of other professional gunmen, lawmen, and bounty hunters. Basically, he doesn't trust anyone outside the party ever. You're not allowed to. But the thing is, you have to roll a new one at levels 3, 5, 7, 10, and 13.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you.
Yeah, but you think they are, even if they're not. Compulsive liar. Even if you're a good alignment, you now cannot tell the truth. Manic depressive. Bold daredevil. Fear of heights. Kleptomania. Obsessive hatred of something, a particular monster, DB, whatever. Obsessive disdain for the law and lawmen. Yeah, it's going to be great. That's going to end well.
There's only a 5% chance of getting that one.
That's true. That's true. But you're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in your life. So have fun with that. And then 81 to 90 is in now you're going into the main book. You're going into the regular crazies of the main book. Alignments, any, but often anarchist or evil. Yeah. I mean, that you've now seen the theme of this book. All right. You now get the gist. You're not going to be surprised.
Why use it? That's the theme I got, is why use it?
Yeah. Adventurers. Now, this is page 110. Yep, 110. Now we're getting into the roaming around don't have a specific niche, but still want to see the world type stuff. This is like the wilderness scout, rogue scholar, stuff like that. You know, the adventurer OCC, not specifically bred for combat, but has some combat abilities, has some investigative abilities, has some background, you know, search and rescue type abilities, or archaeology, or you know, architecture, you know, whatever. Has you're all around okay guy. First one was a cowboy. Well, a cowboy, just like in the Old West, a cowboy rootin' tootin', you know, shooting dude. But cowboys have honor. They have an honor system. They have a code. All right. Even evil cowboys, like you can, of course, because it's this book, you can be an evil cowboy, but you still have the code. And if I can find that, the code of the cowboy, that's on page 111. Most 95% of cowboys are good, selfish, or aberrant alignment, devoutly following the code of the New West. Even if they're evil, most people will still follow this code. Consider a fellow cowboy a friend until he proves otherwise. Greet a fellow cowboy with a friendly word and hospitality. Never wave. It's bad form and may spook your horse. If one rider dismounts, you and all others should too. Let me finish this first. Grabbing the bridle of a mounted man's horse is an act of aggression and intrusion over the rider's control of his mount. You're going to get shot. It's a cowboy's sacred obligation to show hospitality to visiting cowboys, including sharing food and information. Deadbeats, loafers, tramps, saloon bums, outlaws, gamblers, gunslingers aren't cowboys and aren't particularly welcome, especially at the ranch or on a cattle drive or roundups. Watch your back around these people. Now, even an evil cowboy will invite another cowboy to share his fire at night. If he's got no food, he will offer him at least a meager amount. That is the code. That is it. That's how it works. The code of the cowboy. Okay, great. I like it. But what powers does he get? Any powers like all the other OCCs? Oh no. He gets bonuses like, you know, SDC, pull, punch, disarm, strike, horror factors at levels 2, 4, 8, and 12. But that's about it. Oh, we have the running theme of no IQ mandatory here.
Well, I mean, you're just rustling, or not rustling, you're just herding cattle.
Yeah, you're herding cattle, horses, whatever. You're moving livestock from one place to another. That's basically what you're doing.
I mean, you can outthink the livestock with an intelligence of 3, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then we move on to the Borg. The full conversion cyborg here is a miner, a prospector. He doesn't have a minigun attached to his arm. He has a drill and a shovel because he's
digging a hole,
in them there hills, and he's gonna find it.
One day I can't do a metallic voice, but one day I'm gonna be rich in these there parts.
Yeah, fair.
Borg is my favorite OCC to play.
I know, but now you're a miner. Your special abilities are underground tunneling. You have the ability to dig a tunnel so fast and efficiently that it needs very little structural bracing to remain sound. That's an amazing power to have.
Let's be fair. They're just dwarves.
Yeah.
Just make your Borg 3 foot tall. You're a dwarf.
Mechanical dwarf. That's what you are. Mechanical dwarf. Underground sense of direction, metalworking, and other bonuses. Typical bionic features. There are 2 types: partial reconstruction mining cyborg and a full conversion mining cyborg. Now, yes, if you want to play a Borg, what you do is you say that you've done your years of service and you are now freed from the mining company and you can do whatever you want. You can get that drill arm replaced with a gun arm or a regular arm or whatever, and then be a regular Borg with these other special abilities of tunneling and being a dwarf. You can.
I seriously, I'm playing this and I'm going to make myself 3.5 foot tall.
That's fair.
with a metallic beard.
Yeah, the full conversion cyborg is 7.6 to 9 feet. You know what? F it. If I were game mastering this, I would allow you to be a dwarf Borg.
Oh, 9 feet? Holy wow, my Borg wasn't that tall.
Yeah. Well,
is that what they are in the main book too?
No, they're a little smaller, but remember these were also made for heavy lifting, rocks and such.
Enough. Oh, so I'm the loader from Aliens.
Yeah, if you want to see a picture, go to the next page. So 114. There he is. Big drill arm. Yeah, got me a drill arm.
Oh, I'd use it too.
Because I'm a giant dwarf.
I'm a giant dwarf.
Giant dwarf. All right. So
isn't that called a human?
No. It's called a mining board. You see it, right? You see it? It's right there. Mining board.
Oh, this is my new OCC.
The preacher? Yeah. Yeah.
Does he get magic?
No.
Oh, well then.
Oh, wait. No, you didn't ask. Does he get psionics?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Say it.
Hey, does he get psionics?
No.
Oh.
Guess what he gets?
Well,
an attitude that gets him shot. Correct.
Okay.
A preacher is exactly that. He is.
Hey, it says a peacemaker.
Whatever. He is an old West preacher. Now there are several flavors. Okay.
So I run around and call everybody hookers and whores.
That's the fire and brimstone preacher.
Yes.
Yes. There's the town preacher that does services every Sunday. People come to him for advice. Settle disputes when the lawmen aren't around. The local preacher will have your back. He'll do you fair, all that stuff. And then there's the fire and brimstone preacher. You're all going to hell. Original sin is all the sin in the world, and you are going to hell. The best thing you can do is get out of hell as fast as possible by burning in hell for a little bit longer and not having any pleasure in this world at all. Any pleasure in this world will get you longer sentence in hell, 1,000 years for every kiss, boy. And don't touch yourself. And guess what powers he gets for being a complete D-bag? Let's find out.
Tolerance alcohol.
Yeah, that's what the fire and brimstone preacher gets. All of them get a plus 1d4 plus 2 to mental affinity, plus 2 to disarm on a called shot, plus 4 to pull punch, plus 2d6 to SDC. But the fire and brimstone preacher gets a plus 10 added to that. Plus 1 versus mind control, plus 4 versus possession, and plus 2 horror factors at several levels. The fire and brimstone preacher gets a tolerance to alcohol. They actually have in this game a chart for how drunk you are, depending on how many drinks you've had and what minuses you get. Yep.
This is dumb. Can I move on to the next one?
Fire and brimstone preacher can drink twice as much as the average person. So basically you just half that. And religion. Most Western preachers tend to be Judeo-Christian type preachers and are predominantly human, although non-humans may be allowed in the ministry. Most ministries are regional or local, making for scores of similar but divergent teachings, morals, tolerance, church laws, and practices. Well, that's because, like I said at the beginning of the segment, there are hundreds of miles in between cities and villages. So everything is going to be local tradition only. But you know what? I've talked for almost an hour and a half on this book so far. It's going to be more of the same. We're going to go through professional gambler.
Gotta know when to hold them.
Yeah, and know when to not take this OCC. Because
he looks like Gambit.
Or quick draw, reputation, tolerance to alcohol. That's it. Good job, buddy.
One question though. The most important question: can he charge those cards with psychic energy and blow them up?
Gambit.
God damn it!
Sorry, he's not Gambit. Saloon bum. Yep. Seriously, no, that's it.
I saw it earlier, but now that I'm looking at the pictures,
saloon bum.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna arm wrestle a cyborg. That sounds fucking smart. Sorry, that sounds smart.
Yeah, and then we got the bar girl.
Can I play that?
No, saloon girl / barmaid. Now this is they don't go out and say it. This is the whore, but the whore is the spy. The whole James Bondette spy of the New West. She
Look,
has
every military person
information.
knows what I'm about to say. She's the juicy girl that gets the secrets.
Yeah. She is queen of the pillow talk. So yeah, she definitely has 8 types of syphilis, but if you give her enough money, she'll tell you what other people have said in bed. Great, let's move on. Okay, here are the racial character classes, and they are all dumb. Cactus people.
I want to see that one. I want to see
126. Just show the fucking. Just show the Look at this. This is.
I want.
Oh, look at the babies. They look like mutated tardigrades. This is awful.
Okay, hold on.
It's a disaster.
I don't care about the rest of these. Literally don't care about the rest of them, but I have to know about these things. They're named a whole bunch of consonants. Got it. 3 to 4 in front. Get lots of sunshine. Blah blah blah. Little regard for money and valuables. They're hippies. Okay, got it. Human predators represent the greatest danger. I wonder why.
Yeah, they have a natural horror factor because they're ugly as shit.
He says, man, if you want to put that on the screen, there we go. I got it.
They belong in Nightbane and kill it with fire. Yes.
Oops. I didn't see that you clicked.
That's fine. That's fine.
So what do they get? What do they get? That's cool.
Because nobody's going to play that. They're going to take one look at that picture and go, pass.
I see no powers.
Yeah. No. They do have powers. They feed off of sunlight and dirt.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. You're right.
Yeah. The Finodi RCC. Go to page 129. You see a picture of this beautiful little. You know what he reminds me of? Louis Gossett Jr. in Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine. I was going to say the Mutsagens from Battle Lords of the 23rd Century.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that too. But yeah.
Okay, next, Keepers of the Desert. That sounds like
they get actual powers. Keepers of the Desert. These are the mystics of the Old West. They get magic and psionics, or actually mostly psionics.
Oh, random powers and deformities. Now that sounds awesome.
Yes, they are irradiated.
Indestructible beauty.
Yeah, the Desert Keeper is physically beautiful. Add 1d6 plus 12 to the character's physical beauty. Now I want the average. The average is I believe
9.
Physical beauty is 2d4. So the average is going to be about 6. No, 7.
Oh, so they are. Oh, so they lose. Okay, 5. I see. Attributes are different here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the average is 5. So
add 13 onto that for a minimum.
About 14 to that. So that's 19. 19 is very beautiful.
Well, minimum is 13 if you add to that, and that's already human maximum. Yeah. I get it. You can roll the 24s, but I'm talking.
Yeah. The actual human maximum without skills is going to be you roll 18 plus a d6. You max that out as well.
But that's crazy. That's crazy type.
Yeah. But you can roll that just on character generation. It is possible, but you got to roll max out 4 6s to do that, and that happens very, very rarely. They get natural abilities. Random magic stuff, psionic stuff, the random powers and deformities.
The one thing I do like about this,
RCC,
I like the fact that these abilities are random.
They're basically Native American mystics, basically. In Lynn Siral OCC, go ahead and go to the next page. You'll see a picture of this lovely little creature. There it is.
Bird?
Yeah, Birdman. Birdman.
Okay.
Yep.
Sky Knights, Cloud Weavers. Sounds birdish.
Oh,
Mountain Giants.
Mountain Giants. This is an giant dwarfs player character. You want to play? No, scroll down. Do it. There he is. I want to play the Hulk. Okay, you can play the Hulk. That's fine.
I just want this part. I want everything else black, and I just want this part cropped out for a picture. That's it. Just color and everything else.
Anyone, just whatever.
No. It's just a black picture with just all you see is this smiling face.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you want to be a mountain giant, you can be a mountain giant. Your IQ is going to be 2d6 plus 2 instead of the normal 3d6, which doesn't sound bad. But if you think about it, rolling 3d6, your average is going to be what, 9?
Well, 2d6 plus
10.
2 is what? 3, 4, 7. Yeah, plus 2 is still 9.
Okay, but
It just lowers the maximum.
yeah, it lowers your maximum possible. But your strength is going to be 4d6 plus 20, and it's supernatural. So that's great.
Oh,
And you're an MDC creature rather than an SDC creature. Yeah, if you want to be the Hulk, you can be the Hulk. That's great.
so what Western did this come from?
Oh no. This was somebody at Palladium was like on way too much coke and went, oh, you know what I love? I love freaking Bruce Banner. I love the Hulk for no reason at all. It's put in the book. Okay.
We now know where Bruce Banner walked to at the end of every episode.
Na 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 na. Na, na, na. New West. That's where he went. So yeah, and those are our OCCs, and then after that is monsters. They have dinosaurs.
Great.
They have dinosaurs everywhere.
Apparently, the La Brea Tar Pits turned into a resurrection module, and
Yep, and it just goes off into monsters, and then it goes off into the specialized armor and weapons of the New West, which all it is Wilkes and whatever Wilkes over in the New West. They call their regional company Wilkes Remington because everyone knows
keep
the
a
old
familiar name, yeah.
Remingtons and Colts and stuff. So that's what they sell, stylized versions of the same thing.
Gotta get the Colt, Sammy. Gotta get the Colt.
Yeah, exactly. But and hey, if you're one of those psychic gunslingers, then it's actually magical. You can kill demons with it.
Hey, this picture's in same picture they use, I think, in TMNT and in I can't see it through my monitor. My books are actually not there. They're there. But it's the animal guide for Palladium.
Okay.
They just reused the picture. Couldn't get somebody else to draw a snake?
Why? There's just a snake.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on looking through this book? What do you think about it? The first question is what do you think about it as a play setting that you would want to either game master or be a player in?
Oh, Tom, I'm okay with it. I'm not mad or anything. It's just I recognized it, and I don't recognize much from Palladium. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's an indie company because when I heard you. I'll answer that in a second. I'm answering chat first. But because Heathen Dog, when he does his Christmas donations every year, he brings it straight to their building. He lives like a mile away from him, maybe a city away, but whatever. Well, first of all, to answer Heathen Dog's question, I don't like Westerns. Like, it wouldn't interest me at all because what is this gross thing?
That is a worm, man.
Okay.
No, don't even read it. It's dumb as shit. Don't even read it.
So right there, I would play because my friends are playing, but I'd be like, just because it's not my setting. On top of that, so far, all the OCCs and RCCs, unless you play two of them, are either evil or jackasses. It's like, it's not interesting. Like the Crazy and the Juicer have interesting failings in the main book. And, I don't know enough about the other world books. So I look at it and I'm like, okay, I could see taking a Crazy and having that struggle inside. Here, it says, you're just a jerk. Gunslingers and gunfighters, they're evil. What do you mean they're evil? Like, come on, I can be, somebody said Annie Oakley. If I remember correctly, she wasn't evil. She was just a trick shot, and men hated her for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I mean, my Western lore is off, and then at first I was still somewhat like, but okay, I could be a game master and say, you know what, you don't have to be as evil as it says here. You don't have to be as anarchist here. You can still do it. You're just kind of like a sword master from Earth Dawn, Drink Again, where it's like you just have the showmanship. You just have, these freak abilities, right?
Yeah.
I could, but then you added in weird monster people and giants. Okay, I'm done. If you hadn't lost me before then, I'm out now. Like, tell me when you're running your next game of Rifts, and I'll join.
when we're playing in another setting. See, I agree with you with everything you said. I'm going to pile on to that to say that not only are many of the OCCs that are listed in this book uh, versions of OCCs that already exist, which makes them unnecessary. The general level of fighting ability in this book is raised so high as to be absolutely incompatible with the core setting in the Midwest. Absolutely incompatible. Even okay, I won't go so far as the deputy, but even the Justice Ranger walking in to the core area is going to be able to stand toe to toe in a fight with a crazy. Maybe not a juicer, but a crazy. A gunslinger or a gunfighter, definitely. I would say in a fight, better. He literally has better initiative and better 2-hit bonuses with a gun than a juicer gets, and they get crazy.
Is it really that good? I mean, yes. I don't know the numbers well enough, so okay.
Yes, because the gunslinger and gunfighter get a special initiative bonus when using handguns, and the Justice Ranger and the Lawman get a lesser bonus, but with handguns and rifles. But the gunslinger and gunfighter get such a high initiative bonus, when they're using a handgun. All they need is to get bionic ears, which the gunslinger or gunfighter, you can choose 1d4 bionics at start. That gives you a +4 or +6 to initiative on top of that.
Okay.
You're going first. You are going first. And with your physical prowess and 2-hit bonuses, because all of your trick shot stuff that the juicer just doesn't get, you're going to hit him even if he hides behind a thing, but behind anything really. You're going to be able to hit him really, really well in the eyes, in the kneecaps, in the joints. You're going to be able to bypass his crappy ass juicer armor, because juicer armor is not fully environmental, which means a called shot will go to your body if you hit. And gunslingers, gunfighters, and anyone with the sharpshooting trick shot skills, they get bonuses to called shot. So all he has to do is go first, shoot for your throat, and you die. And now the juicer is a really, really, really expensive bag of blood and nanites. That's it. That's it.
So Tom had a statement here. Maybe you'll be able to answer his question on side of it, though. He said, it doesn't seem like there's rules for domain management or mass combat. One of the problems with Palladium as a whole is its combat rules in general, outside of just single shot 1 versus 1, are kind of wacky no matter what. It's got some of the weirdest wild shot, sprayed shot, suppression fire rules I've ever seen. Now, it works for the game, and if you understand the mechanics of the game, that's fine. But I don't know of any mass combat rules in Palladium either necessarily. But if you just start throwing in all the wild shot rules out there, you'll hurt something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they do have spray and pray. Like if you have a fully automatic weapon, you can unload half the clip or the whole clip into an area and have a diminished chance to hit everyone in that area, but you'll be using all of your attacks for that round to do that, to empty your clip. But you can hit up to 10 people.
Yes, he's right. Yeah, you know what? I don't ever correct people on that anymore, but he's absolutely right. It's a magazine, not a clip.
No, actually, in Rifts, it's called an energy clip.
They can call it what they want. It's a magazine.
Okay, but it doesn't have bullets. It's a battery.
It doesn't matter. Magazine is what goes inside. The clip is what holds it in.
Okay. I'm talking about the game. You're talking about real life. You realize we're in two different things, right?
No, it's fine.
All right. So this is not only a bad world, because I like Westerns to a point. I mean, Max doesn't at all, really. It's not his bag. But I like him to a point, but this is a bridge too far. This is too far into La La Land. And you have to suspend a lot of disbelief being in Rifts already. This is too far. But I did that because it is the perfect example of world books not being compatible with each other. There are rules in here that would break things in Japan. There are rules in Japan that would break things in the core book. There are rules in Phase World module that would break everything except the module in Atlantis, and Atlantis breaks the core book 18 ways. So you cannot run a campaign using 2 of these books at the same time. You can't. If you do, you're going to fail, or you, at the very least, everyone is going to have a bad time.
Tom Minato says a clip is a roundish piece of metal used. That's actually a fast loader. Now, look, I'm not a weapon aficionado. I truthfully couldn't care. I just remember from in my military times, they always would correct us if somebody said clip. Like, nope, a clip is what holds the magazine in place. It's a magazine. So, hey, outside of that, I'll let somebody who's a gun expert go beyond that. That sounds more like a fast loader to me.